Hello and welcome to another video. It's Ultimate Ultimate Gamer 19,000 and I'm here today to present to you all the ever-burning flame. Before this video starts, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Baldur's Gate 3 and or D&D content. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So the whole inspiration for this build was kind of like, how powerful can I make a torch in Baldur's Gate 3? Now that's kind of the main idea. Now this idea sprang into my head thanks to the Truant doing a series where he was playing a very fire-based character, and his main weapon was a torch that was shillelagh. Now in his build video, he did a druid fighter build, which I know most people really like druid fighter builds, but I personally hate them. I don't really think they fit very well, and I think Spore's druid is a walking headache of just making sure you have some type of hit points. And like overall, I'm not a fan of Spore's druid, so overall I don't really like druid fighter multi-classes, because I feel like you're kind of just multi-classing just makes both classes worse. It doesn't really make any of them better, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I've decided to just see in a different way how powerful can I make a torch. And also, since there fact there is a magical torch that deals necrotic and fire damage, allowing you to get your damage amplifiers pretty high. Now, if in this build, if you want to make a build that does super high damage, you should always go paladin, because smites are the definition of overpowered. So yeah, here we'll start off as a first level in paladin. Now, as a first level pally, we do the notable things you get is shield, heavy armor, and martial and simple weapons proficiencies. With this build, I assume we're going to be using heavy armor, shields, and the little torch we have, because those are just the best. Now, spellcasting ability is charisma. Now, okay, first of all, I just want to kind of discuss something first. Now, a lot of people may be saying, okay, well, what's okay for shillelagh? Because I did some research on this and I haven't really gotten an exact answer. It seems. For shillelagh, at least, it is a cantrip that allows you to use your spell casting ability modifier for attack rolls with a club or staff weapon. And a torch is a club, if you're wondering. So now I was thinking to myself, okay, that's cool and all, but how? But like with shillelagh, will we use our wisdom or charisma? Because this build will have a better charisma. Yes, we are taking a lot of levels like cleric and druid, but overall we can stack charisma the highest because our charisma can go up to a +7. Our wisdom can only go to a +6 if you use every possible like increase to your charisma possible. So yeah, I was kind of just thinking to myself, well, if we use shillelagh, will we use our wisdom or our charisma? Now, I did a lot of testing, and from my testing, it seems, is as long as you take one level of paladin to begin, it seems like or as long as your charisma is your highest stat, it seems that your shillelagh will always be charisma based rather than wisdom based, even if you do take it with druid. So that is something I just do want to stress. Now, for some reason, it's using your wisdom modifier. Maybe respect and make sure that the last level you take for your character is a paladin level. Again, that is up to you. But yeah, that's kind of how I've seen it happen. But yeah, so we're just gonna set that aside and just always assume it's using our charisma, because it is possible for it to use our charisma even though we take so much wisdom-based classes. Now, for our oath as a paladin, honestly, kind of pick your favorite here. You could take Oath of the Ancients, fits the theme very well. Oath of Devotion is so hard to keep up. Honestly, I don't recommend Oath of Devotion. You can break it literally by pissing on the floor, and you break your Oath of Devotion. It is highly annoying. Now, Oath of Vengeance is a pretty damn powerful one, and honestly, probably the one we'll be taking. Is a guaranteed advantage is just so nice, man. Like, guaranteed advantage is just beyond nice. You could take Oath of Ancients if you really like flavor, but since I like powerful characters, I'll be taking Oath of Vengeance. And if you want to be an Oath Breaker, I mean, you can be, but I prefer Oath of Vengeance, personally. Now, at level 2, as a paladin, we get Divine Smite in our fighting style. Now, with Divine Smite, basically just allows us to deal a bonkers amount of damage, with extra radiant damage, with any weapon strike we hit. And also, I wanted to see if I could make a Paladin Druid build that uses Wild Shape that Divine Smites. If you're interested in that, leave that down below, because I might do some research on how that would work. That might actually be next week's video. Yeah. So you may or may not see it. I guess we'll have to wait until next week. But yeah, for our fighting style, we'll be taking Dual Link, because Dual Link does apply to our Torch. Pretty sure it does. I did some testing, and I'm pretty sure the damage went up. Now, if you don't really care for the +2, you can just take defense if you want to be really bulky. Now, this build will have a superb armor class, because there's a lot of items you could take that can increase your AC. So yeah, honestly, overall, it is pretty damn good. Now, we also get a bunch of first level paladin smells, which not well, actually, it does remind me of something. Now, when it comes to the race of this build, it kind of doesn't matter like at all. Like honestly, take whatever race you prefer. Now, you could take orc, because there is a way to get what some people like to call a super smite, where basically is use the elliptic power to guaranteed crit, use a thunderous smite with your bonus action, and then divine smite, because you can divine smite on an attack if you have the reaction turned on, and both of those will crit, dealing massive amounts of damage. And if you add on half orc, you'll be hitting like a absolute truck, thanks to savage attacker. Yeah, and that's what it is. Now, there is one other race option you could do if you want damage that's a little less once per long rest, or like at least that's a little more reliable. Now you could take the Zariel Tiefling. Now this gives you Thaumaturgy, which gives you advantage on thinking intimidation checks, which can actually be and performance checks, which can be pretty damn nice. But also you get Searing Smite and Branding Smite, and you can cast them once per long rest. This just basically allows you to do some extra smite damage using your bonus action. Searing Smite being an additional d6, but it's a d6 every turn after the initial hit. But Branding Smite making it that your target can't turn invisible. So that's pretty damn nice, especially in Act 3 when invisibility is seemingly everywhere. Now, you could take either of these. None of these take spell slots, so if you do want some extra free damage that doesn't rely on you landing crits, then by all means, take the good old Zariel Tiefling. And yeah, because they are extraordinarily powerful. Like, it is a very powerful race. And the Hell Riders that you can summon in Act 3, in like the final fight, spoilers for all of Baldur's Gate 3, of course, they're pretty nice because they just kind of spam a bunch of smites. So, if you're in a tough fight, having these two smites that don't require spell slots can actually be quite a lifesaver. But honestly, pick your favorite. You could pick Githyanki if you want Astro Knowledge, because Astro Knowledge is just one of the most broken features in the game. But honestly, Zariel Tiefling or just your standard half orc probably will do you both equally as good, I'd say. Maybe the Zariel Tiefling may be a little bit better, but honestly, pick your favorite. Now, at level 3, we do get some Divine Health, which prevents diseases from affecting us. Okay, who cares? But here's when we get Arch-Handle Divinities for our subclasses, well, at least the ones that matter. As the Oath of Vengeance Paladin, which is a subclass I presume we're taking, we get Bane and Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark allows for some extra damage for our bonus action, but honestly, I always forget to cast Hunter's Mark as a Paladin, because I'm just like, go up, smite. Overall, I do think Smite will always just do more damage than a Hunter's Mark, no matter how many turns. Unless you have Hunter's Mark up for like 16 turns, then, smiting probably becomes a little less damage. Overall, I just always recommend to big bonk smite. But we get Abjure Enemy. Oh no, we get Valve Enemy. This basically allows us, if we cast this on ourselves, we gain advantage on every attack roll we hit an enemy with. So yeah, it is just very powerful. So make sure cast it on yourself, and yeah, you'll just be able to smite the ever-living hell out of every enemy with advantage, and yeah, you're going to be hitting very hard with your torch. Now, here at level 4 is when stuff kind of goes a little bit wonky. Now, from now, I'm imagining from level 1 to 3, you're a strength-based paladin. Because, most weapons are strength-based. For me, you're a dexterity that's rating a rapier, whatever you want to do. But here's the thing. At level 4 is when you gain feats. And there is a feat called, not Elemental Adept, it's called, I think, Magic Initiate. And if you take Magic Initiate Druid, you can actually get Shillelagh very early on. 2 levels earlier. But the thing is, your Charisma modifier will be very much Well, because here's the thing. Would you rather wait until level, what is it, level 6 to get to start using your shillelagh torch, or until level 4 to use your shillelagh torch? Now the benefits, in my personal opinion, are that at level 6 your wisdom modifier can be up to like a plus 20 if you get Auntie Ethel's hair. But if you do this route, your wisdom, if your charisma modifier, because we're attacking for a charisma modifier, this is a charisma based build. With if you take magic initiative druid, your charisma modifier will be lowered. So honestly, it's up to you. If you want to be attacking with your torch earlier, then take this route. But if you really don't care for being charisma based and still want to be strength based until level 6, then by all means just just boost up your I don't know, boost up your charisma, or I don't know, boost up your strength, or if you're using strength elixirs, take Great Weapon Master. I don't know, honestly, whatever. Come on, because this problem with this build is that taking Shillelagh, the earliest you can take it, unless you take Druid level 1, which I do not recommend because delaying extra attack is torture. Then yeah, overall, honestly, that's kind of the weird part about this build, that it does take a little while to get up and running, but once it does, you can do some pretty nice damage. But yeah, now at level 5 we gain extra attack and second level spells. Here we can pick up stuff like Aid, Lesser Restoration, Magic Weapon, honestly, pick your favorite. But as a Oath of Vengeance Paladin, we get Hold Person and Misty Step, two massively powerful spells, and Misty Step we will be using extremely often, because it is very powerful. Now, as a 6th level character, we will be taking one level of Druid. Now, this one level of Druid provides us with some decent stuff. We get Shillelagh, mostly. Here, I'd probably recommend picking up Guidance and Shillelagh as your two cantrips. And for your first level spells, honestly, Long Strider probably is a good one. Long Strider and maybe Enhanced Sleep or Cure Wounds or Healing Word, whatever you prefer. But now with Shillelagh, you can, if you did at level 4 take the path of Magic Initiate Druid, you can respec out of that, throw that crap away, and now you will be a paladin that is wielding a torch that is Shillelagh lead, and be dealing some pretty cool, pretty nice damage. I mean, right here, you're definitely not going to be hitting as hard as like a Tavern Brawler Monk, or even like a Great Weapon Master, abuser. But still, I mean, you have a higher hit chance than a Great Weapon Master person, and your AC will be better than almost every monk, because you will be using heavy armor and shields. So this build definitely has its benefits. It is very defensive, a very high armor class, and also can have a pretty good HP if you take tough. Um, but its damage it's not lacking. It's a little lower. But there is a not a glitch. There's a method to get almost infinite smites, which I will be teaching you all how to do it. It is, you can get it a little bit. It depends, because honestly, I think I leave that for the end of the video to not put myself on top of that and get like my mind just fully take away from the build guide. But overall, there is ways to get near infinite smites, which can be pretty damn powerful. But yeah, first level Druid, take Shillelagh and Guidance, and I think Long Strider and whatever else you want. Now that's all the Druid levels we'll be taking for this build, so let's just close Druid, because we won't be needing it. Now, at character level 7, we'll be taking Paladin 6. I mean, Aura Protection is just so nice. I mean, like, this is a charisma-based paladin, so yeah, by character level 6, respec yourself to be a 8 strength, all charisma paladin. Take Auntie Ethel's hair into charisma, if you do take it with this build. And yeah, now this is when your defensive features kind of start rolling, because Aura Protection is just, oh, I played a paladin that used Birthright, Auntie Ethel's hair, and Mirror of Loss, and oh my, can I tell you, I was shredding every single, and like, no, I was also shredding every single enemy, but bro, when someone was near me, they were not failing a wisdom saving throw. Intelligence saving throw, I had like a plus 10, and I dumped intelligence, but I had a plus 10 to those saving throws. And I also, with Aura Protection, my wisdom saving throw was like a 14 at some point. It was, overall, my saving throws were ridiculously high. I had some of the best saving throws, and if one of my teammates were near me, they're not failing a saving throw. And yeah, it's just whole. And trust me, it is very useful just being able to know that this paladin will never fall or anything to a saving throw because of how broken aura protection is on a charisma focused paladin. It is chef's kiss broken. Now, at character level 8, no, character level 7, we'll be taking the rest of our 5 levels in cleric. Now, cleric level 1 is really nice for this build because first of all, we get to pick a deity, and I like to build paladins that are highly religious because I think it really just adds the flavor and very much makes it, because some people like to complain that, oh, strong characters don't have much flavor, and I feel like just having a deity that you worship allows you to bring in stronger flavor. So honestly, pick your favorite deity. I like Lathander, because my first ever D&D character was a Lathander worshipping paladin, so I'm kind of low biased. So pick Lathander, or the Platinum Dragon. Honestly, pick your favorite. I couldn't really care because but I'm pretty much I legit think it does nothing. You could take Vlad if this is a Lae'zel build. Uh, but yeah, we do gain some cleric level spell casting, and also, oh, I do want to mention this because I did forget a little bit. But since we are taking only 6 levels of paladin, we will have access to up to 5th level spell slots. Now, the highest level spells we can cast will be 3rd, but this means that we can be doing some pretty high level smites very often, and some pretty high level upcastings of very important spells. But those spells we'll kind of get into a little later. Now, for your cantrips, I recommend taking Guidance, Resistance, Thaumaturgy, Sacred Flame, any of those 4. All very powerful. Light and produce flame if you do want to. Now, for your first level cleric spells, honestly, kind of pick the ones that don't really require you having a good. Because the thing is, with this build, we can have like a 12 to 13 wisdom. Not the highest, but not the lowest either. So, personally, I recommend maybe taking a Bless, Bane, if you feel. No, not Bane. Bless. Healing word can be nice just to pick up. It won't be doing much healing, but it can still be nice. Sanctuary, protection from evil, good, shoot of faith, all good spells that you could definitely pick up. But now we do gain a subclass or a domain, and personally, I recommend here to go to War Domain. I know it's a little boring. I know everyone's like, oh, War Domain Cleric, feeling adventurous today. But again, War Domain Cleric is just so nice. It weaponizes our bonus action. It just makes us a absolutely destructive monster of a character. Now, if you don't know, with War Priest, we have something called War Priest charges. We can spend one of these charges to deal an additional attack as a bonus action, allowing us to just do more attacks with our Shillelagh Focus Torch. Now, we won't be able to do this turn 1 because we do have Shillelagh is a bonus action to activate, but and also, we do have our Abjure enemies. This build has a lot of bonus actions, so if you can, try to pre-cast Shillelagh as a bonus action before you get into combat, and then start swinging that torch around at everyone's face. But if you can't, honestly, it doesn't matter. You probably still will be using your War Priest charges decently, frequently, specifically because, especially with some of the longer fights, because some bosses just have so much health that you just be able to whack, whack, and whack. I mean, oh, also, I thought of something, but I'll mention that a little bit later. Now, you do also gain Divine Favor and Shoot of Faith as domain spells. These are always prepared, which is pretty nice. At level 2, as a War Cleric, you gain Guided Strikes, allowing you to add a plus 10 to your attack rolls. So if somehow you fail, if you fail to hit an enemy, and with your advantage, you can add a plus 10 to it once per short rest, which I just find quite hilarious. Now, at level 3, we gain second level spells as a cleric and our domain spells. Now, domain spells, we get spiritual weapon and magic weapon. Maybe when you're out of those War Priest charges, you can get you can cast spiritual weapon and have that just bonk your enemies. But here, we do gain cool stuff like aid. So if you want to, you can be the person in your party that casts aid on everyone. Now, you won't be able to get that 6th level aid that is just super tongue-watering broken, but you'll still be able to get it to pretty high level, 5th level at maximum. So overall, you'll be pretty nice. So you definitely could be the aid guy in your party. And at level 4 as a cleric, we gain a feat. Now, honestly, for this feat, you could take tough if you want more HP, if you want to kind of lean into that hyper defensive part of your character, you could increase. I mean, because your charisma is probably gonna be ridiculously high. Oh, if you didn't take Antiento's boon, maybe take actor to get a +1 to charisma. But if you did, I don't know. You can take mobile if you kind of want to just leave. Honestly, oh, you can take resilient wisdom. Yeah, actually, because with this build, you can get a 13 wisdom. Because I think if you go 8 intelligence, 8 strength, 12 dexterity, like 16 con, 13 wisdom, and I think a 17 charisma. I'm pretty sure you can do it. I think that's what I did. You can't take resilient wisdom to get. No, you're already proficient in wisdom because you're a paladin. No. Well, then ignore that. Take Savage Attacker. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, take Savage Attacker. Honestly, you're gonna be rolling so many dice. Savage Attacker will genuinely just be really powerful. Or Sentinel. Honestly, pick your favorite. Both of the Savage Attacker is just so nice in Baldur's Gate 3. It's just it's especially one of these builds that has so many damage riders. You can just really make Savage Attacker beyond worth it in any scenario. Now, at level 5, you get Destroy Undead. If you use your Channel Divinity of Turn Undead, which is pretty sucky, they now take a bunch of extra radiant damage. You'll never be doing that because it kind of sucks again. But yeah, as a 12th level character in general, you get third level spells here. Now, my personal recommendation, if you're fighting Cazador, taking Daylight is massive. It really just trivializes that fight, honestly. In my honor mode run that I did recently just beat, so I have beaten honor mode with honor, so I did get my golden dice. I used Daylight on my Sorkadin, went up to Cazador, and was just smiting the hell out of him. And he couldn't really do much to me because I was level 12 and I had really high level counter spells. So he was just trying to blight me out, counter spell him. Then he would just waste his turn there as the Daylight was just eating him apart, taking a bunch of radiant damage. Overall, it's very powerful. And I can only imagine on the lower difficulty modes how it completely trivializes that fight or makes it fair if you're using pretty sucky builds. Honestly, it's kind of the level of your build. Now we do also gain some cool stuff like Animate Dead, which if you're Lathanderite makes no sense, but screw it. But still, Curse can be decent. Fade Death, Glyph of Warding, Mass Healing Word, all can be nice. But the main reason why we're here, it's because of Spirit Guardians. Spirit Guardians, if you don't know, it's just so nice. Nearby enemies take 3d8 radiant or 3d8 necrotic damage per turn, and their movement speed is halved. Now, they do have to make a wisdom saving throw equal to your spell save DC, or they take half damage, which they most likely will be making every turn, because your wisdom is not very high, but still, man. No matter what, you're still going to be doing like half of 3d8 radiant damage or half 3d8 necrotic, which is extra damage. And also, you don't have something you're concentrating on, most likely. I don't believe you have anything you're concentrating on, right? I don't believe you have anything. No. I mean, if your pally spells, no. Unless you're concentrating on something like Cold Person or Magical Weapon, Spirit Guardians most likely will just be adding a bunch of damage to you, and overall is something I probably recommend doing. Yeah, they most likely will succeed on the saving throw, but hey, they're still gonna take some damage. And at the end of the day, this build just cares for damage. So yeah. And also, you could upcast the living hell out of Spiritual Guardians to 5th level and just have it do a bunch of damage even if they do succeed, which they most likely will. But yeah, as a War Domain Cleric, we do gain 1 extra War Priest extra attack charge, which is massive for total. And we also get Crusader's Mantle, always prepared, which, actually, I haven't, well, yeah, I guess it's kind of, yeah, just cast Spiritual Guardians. So whatever, honestly. But yeah, overall, that's kind of the main levels of this build. Now it's time to go into overall, like item usages, just items mostly. So yeah, now our main weapon for this build will be the all-powerful torch. With Shillelagh, this torch becomes a D8 weapon that uses a charisma modifier and deals an additional D4 fire damage. This is pretty damn nice. I mean, it's not the highest damage, but Combined with your very high defenses, it will make it worth it to just whack people with a torch. And also, if you're in the Shadow Curse lands, you will love this build because you no longer have to sacrifice one of your characters wielding a torch. Now they can always just have a torch active and still do bonkers amount of damage. Now, the ways to amp up this torch is first with the Drake Throw Glaive. I mean, come on, yeah, who doesn't love the Drake Throw Glaive? It's genuinely one of the best weapons in the game. If you don't know, you can cast Draconic Elemental Weapon on a torch, and this allows it, and this just gives it an extra D4 either acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage, and a +1 to attack rolls and damage rolls, making your torch a +1 weapon if you're using a standard one, or +2 if you're using a magical one, and deal some additional cool damage. Yeah, it is once per. It lasts until you take a long rest, and overall, it just makes you hit even harder. And also, you can add some little flavor if you want your torch to be even more fiery. You can, or if you want your torch to kind of like channel thunder or lightning, and that lightning, or like maybe your torch is like ever getting struck by lightning, and that's how it's like lighting. You can do some pretty cool stuff, flavorly at least, thematically. But yeah, an Act 3 pretty easily if you loot the chest behind like this little like necromancer guy, you can get the Torch of Revelation, which deals an extra D4 necrotic damage on top of the extra D4 fire damage that torches generally do, and is a +1 weapon. So yeah, this is pretty nice. And you put this with Shillelagh, it is just an additional D4 extra damage, more damage riders, making you hit harder, which is something we all love. But yeah, that's kind of it for the weapons of this build. Now, finally, for the rings, we have, well, not finally, but we have the Caustic Band. This game just gives us a flat +2 acid damage, which, again, just more damage riders, making us hit even harder. Now, there is a ring that if you cast Light upon yourself, which Light is a cantrip, which you can get with Cleric or Paladin. I think with Cleric levels, you can get Light. So yeah, pick up lights. There is a a little ring that deals an additional 2 radiant damage to any creature that is lightened. That is I think like under like that is like illuminated, I think is the official wording. So yeah, if you do want to equip that ring and cast the light spell on yourself every day, and you can do some extra radiant damage, which is pretty damn cool. Now, for your armor, in Act 1, pick up Adamantine Split Armor. Now, if you do want to do the glitch where you magically beat up Raphael in Act 1 and get the Helldust Armor, then by all means, use the Helldust Armor until all the way into Act 3 if you get in Act 1. But once you get to Act 3, pick up the Armor Persistence, because yeah, its armor class is lower by 1, but man, Resistance's Blade Ward is just so nice, man. Resistance gaining us an additional D4 on top of our already amazing saving throws just makes this build disgusting at making saving throws. And resisting all instances of bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage is very nice. So yeah, overall I recommend using this instead of Helldust Armor. But if you think Helldust Armor looks cooler and don't really care for any of that, then by all means use Helldust Armor. Now, for our main shield in Act 3, we'll be using Viconia's Walking Fortress. Now, this shield is a +3 shield. It has Rebuke the Mighty, which allows us to knock someone prone, and they take some additional force damage. And also, Reflective Shell can make, I think, every projectile that hits us go back at our target, which is really nice. And Warding Bond can provide some pretty good utility. And also, we have an advantage on all saving throws against spells. And spells attack rolls against us have disadvantage. Yeah, this shield is just, again, it just makes us landing our saving throws ridiculously easy. Once we get the shield, we will not be failing a single saving throw, especially if we have the armor resistance. We will just be unkillable base saving throw wise. Every saving throw will be succeeding, every constitution saving throw, which are massive, we will be succeeding. This build just has disgusting amount of saving throw potential. Now, we do have the Flawed Helldust Gloves, which can be on Act 2. Again, it's just another damage rider, adding an additional D4 fire damage to our torch, making it even stronger. Now in Act 3, we can get the big boy versions of those gloves. That again just makes it a D6 extra fire damage instead of a D4, and gives us the Raise of Fire cantrip, which is basically just Scorching Ray, but as a cantrip now. So yeah, this build, kind of final thoughts and overall little like cheap tricks you can do. This build is pretty damn broken. Well, not broke. I mean, it's only broken because of how powerful I would say that how powerful saving throws you can get with this build. I mean, this build saving throws are just insufferably good. Like, you would not be failing a saving throw, especially once you get the armor resistance and Viconia's walking shield. You will be succeed on every single saving throw someone ever throws at you, and that is not hyperbole. Genuinely, I don't think there is any boss that you will be failing a saving throw against simply just because of how powerful you have your saving throws are. Now, for a little bit of funsy trickery, now for your elixirs, you can take the elixir of bloodlust if you just want to do more damage, or the elixir of heroism if you want to have a d4 to your saving throws. So if you want your attack rolls and saving throws to be even better, because we all know our saving throws in this build are very bad and need to get better, that is obvious sarcasm. You could take the elixirs of heroism. I personally just like to use the elixir of bloodlust because I just like to burst down enemies, do like 1,500 attacks with a torch. But finally, if you use a potion and of an angelic reprieve, you can get all of your first and second level spell slots back and your channel divinity back. Now, this can be very easily farmed by the bugbear in Moonrise Towers, Lav Tarv, this ugly fellow. Very easily you can farm him. I remember in my honor mode run, I was playing a Sorkidin and I was basically just abusing these potions of Eugenic Retrieve to just get infinite spell slots, infinite sorcery points. And with this build, you can get near infinite first and second level spell slots. So once you reach Act 2, which actually, in my personal opinion, you can reach Act 2 as soon as you finish the whole Grove stuff. Because I'm pretty sure that going to Act 2 just messes up the whole, like, Grove stuff. Those stuff with the Tieflings, and that's it. So if you want to, you can be like me. Go to Act 2. Get, like, stock up on the potions of angelic retrieve, get all the cool magical items that are Act 2 only, then go back to Act 1 and just do everything else you missed out on. Honestly, because I don't think there's, like, I think heading to Act 2 only just progresses that portion of the story. Auntie Ethel will still be in her bog. The Gif Yankee will still be in their little creche. And overall, I still think that many of the Dwergar and the Grimforge will probably still be there. I don't know, so may do a little bit of research about that. Yeah, overall, I was able to farm like 54 potions of angelic retrieve at like level 6 because I just went to Wither's, respect my whole party, and one level up, bought all of his potions of angelic retrieve, and also if you're worried they're too expensive, you can simply just do a back trick and steal all of them completely for free, and he'll never know the difference, and gain yourself nearly infinite gold. So yeah, that's kind of the method aside. So if you really just don't want to be worrying about smites and just want to be doing as many smites and using your channel divinity every single fight, then I highly recommend picking up some potions of angelic reprieve and just get like 100 to 50 of these. Honestly, I recommend getting even more and just using them after you spend all of your first, second, and your channel divinity as a paladin. And also, these can also be sold by Lucretius in Act 3 at the Circus of Last Days. So even if you're at Act 3 and want more, you can always get more. So yeah, make sure to not kill her. Unlike me, because in my honor mode run, I wanted her gloves she had, and I didn't feel like getting all the parts of the clown, so I did just ending up killing her, and then that made all of the Circus of Last Like In go away. Yeah, overall, it was a very big mistake I made, but hey, I still beat honor mode, so I guess it wasn't that big of a mistake. But yeah, that's the end of today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, that's all from your boy, OT19, signing out. Peace!